ziua și bine v-am găsit la o nouă ediție a emisiunii ZF Real Estate by Storia. Sunt Ioana Matei, sunt jurnalist Business Magazine, iar alături de mine se află de această dată Patrick van den Bossche, cofondator al Liebrecht and Wood. Hello and thank you for taking the invitation to our interview.
My pleasure.
Yes, before starting this conversation, I have mentioned that I have in the back the House of the People, an important landmark for Romanian people, but not only for the Romanians. Please tell me, when did you first see this building?
In 1996, honestly.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. So we were very excited in 89. Yeah. So you can already start guessing how old I am. Yeah. But in 89, when the wall came down, because I grew up in a world that was split by a wall and an iron curtain. Yeah. So for us, this was completely new world opening, new part of the world. And and I'm yeah, a traveler by nature, as I would say. So, and when we saw this opportunity, yeah, I wanted to see what's now behind that curtain. And so this is how we ended then up in Poland and in Hungary and Romania. Yeah. So, so Romania was indeed 96, but we decided to do the business at the end of the 90s. Yeah. And established the business and then finally around 2000. Yeah.
And were you in real estate back then when you first came here, or you have just arrived here as a tourist?
Yeah, no, immediately. Yeah. So we just founded in Belgium, early 90s, Liebrecht and
Yeah.
Wood.
Mhm.
And so my partner and myself, the Wood from Liebrecht and Wood, and
Yeah.
my partner is the Liebrecht. And we started with then the first development at the Belgian seashore, second residences, which is very popular there. But since Flanders is a very small piece of the world, yeah, only 6 million inhabitants on top of that. So we we wanted to broaden, yeah, and explore other markets, and this whole the eastern part of Europe was a whole new world to discover. And since we also loved traveling, yeah, we said automatically we.
And what was your first reaction when you came here? Or what was your first thought that came to your mind?
Potential. You
Okay.
see potential. Yeah. Yeah, you start. That's what I found where I live. I felt like suppressed. Yeah, there's so much competition. There's already so much. Yeah, and how do you find a new opportunity in that market where there are so many players offering so much product? Yeah, while there you have a blank sheet. You see there people want to develop themselves. Yeah, you see companies wanting to enter the market and conquer market share. I say, yeah, this is a field with opportunities. Yeah.
Mhm. And were your expectations met?
Yes.
Forwarding to 30 years later?
Yes. If you look now back, yeah, and you see we're now both Poland and Romania, and particularly the cities, because of course you focus. We always talk about countries, but yeah, countries are big, and these are big countries for us. So you focus on cities, and have you see how they developed over all these years? Yeah, I think you can say that that we were right coming here at that time. Yeah, and staying here, by the way. Yeah.
Can you mention some of your first projects you had here? What were your first investments in Romania, and how do you feel about them now later?
Well, the very first one was a military shopping center. Yeah, so a retail park. Yeah, and in the west of the city, in military area, as I call it. Yeah. What I feel now about it is that I've sold it too soon. Yeah, that's clear. But yeah, at a certain moment, we are a developer, which means you buy a plot of land, you make a concept, you build it, you lease it, and then you sell it. Yeah, and with the return, you continue the whole process again, and that's how you grow your business, right? In our case, so at a certain moment, you decide, okay, to sell. We sold that one to mine old bank, an Austrian bank. But afterwards, yeah, we should have waited a little bit longer. But if you look at what that is now, that area when we started developing that, again, that was a plain field, yeah, and now it's anchored by Auchan at the back. There are not hundreds, but thousands of apartments that have been built there by other developers. So it's a very vibrant area now. So yeah, that's pleasant to see that we were the first one. I remember the day that we had a shovel and we dug the first hole in the ground. Yeah. And said, okay, and then you have your dream. And if then you see 20 years later, that has become reality. Yeah, okay, I know I'm a little part of it only, but yeah, we started it somehow. So yeah, it's very pleasant to see. Yeah.
But why do you say you have sold it too early? Because retail and shopping malls are a very good investments in
They
central.
have, for us, they always have been, yeah. But of course, so we could have had a better return probably if we would have waited a bit longer. At the other hand, with that return, we reinvested it in offices and in other parks. And particularly, we saw also the opportunity of outlet business coming up. And therefore, we then started to invest in our outlet center. So one helped the other, yeah. So and that asset, these assets we still have in our portfolio, by the way, but particularly retail parks, and we believe particularly in the retail parks and outlet centers, this is more our thing, and even in a broader scope, multifunctional projects. Yeah.
In order to close the part with the history, can you tell us what is the most, not important because all are important, but what were the most challenging projects you had in Romania?
Each product is a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, because it starts always with, am I doing the right product on the right time, at the right location, at the right price? Yeah, that's it. So that's always a lot of questions to be answered when you start in our business. And the disadvantage of our business is that it involves a lot of money. Yeah, it's you cannot do real estate with a few €100. You need millions always. So you put a lot at risk. That's why I keep on saying our business is a risky business. So you better think twice before you start a project. Yeah, it's time consuming, very time consuming, and it requires a lot of investment. But it's very satisfying if you succeed. Yeah, because you create something which is not just for you, but it's for a whole community. So you have a lot of stakeholders. If you put a building somewhere, you go into what we call a long-term relationship with the environment. That environment consists also of the people who walk just by, yeah, or the biker or the car driver. So they all enjoy, hopefully, what we create, yeah. So, but the challenges are big, as I said. I cannot, but and one of them is that you depend also on authorities, and you need permits, and therefore you need a good collaboration with the officials, and that's not always easy as well. So yeah, so yeah. But that's even not typically Romania. That even, I would say, you can broaden it to the whole world of development, really, real estate development.
But I also wanted to speak with you about the future, of course, and about the new project, Liziera de Lac.
Yeah, our beautiful pearl.
Yeah, your pearl, this is how you call it.
Yes, it's a pearl. It's really a pearl because it was hidden in the oyster, and we are opening the oyster. Yeah, yeah, and it starts to shine, and it's yeah, we are very proud on that project. Again, challenging, but each of our projects are. When we started with the outlet business, even Romanians, yeah, like Belgians, by the way, I remember the first outlet in Belgium. We didn't even know what an outlet center was. Yeah, that is about brand and value. But in the end, if you see now how successful our outlet centers are, it's pioneering, and we are pioneers. Yeah. And the same is here with this Liziera de Lac. Yeah.
And why do you say you are pioneering? How is this project different than any other residential projects?
Good question. It's different, and because of its, first of all, because of its location. Secondly, because of its segmentation. So far, we do a lot of research as well, and because, as I said, you need to do the right product at the right time at the right price. And we discovered that there is a huge or growing demand in the Bucharest population to have a house with a garden. Yeah, not just live in a small apartment in a very busy city. That unfortunately, we need to say, Bucharest has not the highest quality of air. So people are more and more concerned about that. There's a growing concern about the health issues, yeah, as well. So as a trend that we see in several countries and cities, yeah, people want to live close to the city because you have all these facilities there, but they want to live more in nature, yeah, have better air quality and all the other advantages of nature, space, and a bit more space also internally, not a smaller apartment, but a house. But so far, all these housing developments in around Bucharest are in the northeastern quadrant, almost northeast, yeah, and which is a more affluent area. So you go automatically to people who have a higher income. Yeah, but most people, yeah, are in the middle class segment. Yeah. And so like also a lot of people working for our office today with their salaries, they can afford a house and a garden, but not in the expensive areas. So you need to broaden that market. And that's what, and we saw then when we looked at how is the city developing over the next, not few years, but over the next decades. Yeah, we did the same with Warsaw. How will the city grow? And you do that with urbanist planners, yeah. And clearly, for the city of Warsaw, for example, it was going to the Praga district, where we then started to develop. For Bucharest, it's clearly going direction Constanța. So the district number 3 and beyond. So this is how the city will evolve. And then we say, okay, this is the area. Can we find there a beautiful spot? Yeah, not far from the city. And that we found, so that Lake Tatar, which is 10 minutes away from the A2, yeah, and now will be about 12 minutes away from the A0, yeah, which will open. So it's already partially open, but as you know, the full circle will be done by next year. And that brings you very, very easy into the city. You're also only 15 minutes from a metro station. You're 15 minutes from Palladi Shopping Center, one of the largest retail parks, with even an IKEA in your neighborhood. So it's an area that is expanding, that is growing. It's on top of that, I must say, because we have investments in the West. The infrastructure is much, much better and very well maintained as well. Cannot say that about the West, unfortunately, but the East also is very well maintained. So that's why beautiful location itself in full nature. We have vineyards next to where we live. We have the lake, but 10 minutes away only from the highway and from the city. And focusing, and because we could then indeed buy the land cheaper than in the north, it's still east, but you buy it cheaper. We can also offer at a different price than what the houses in the north cost. And that is why it is a new pearl. That's why I call it like that. Yeah, a new oyster that you open. Yeah.
And you have the figures for this project, maybe the investments?
So far, the total investment, land included, 42 million euro.
So far.
Yeah.
And how many phases do you have?
Yeah, it's a big plot of land. So we always, when we do something, we look at a long term. Yeah, so you cannot do what we wanted to do here. It's not just building a house for somebody. It's building a community. Yeah, it's being part of. Yeah, connected to nature, connected to the city, a quality lifestyle close to the city. Yeah, we call it premium lakeside living. Yeah? So this is what we are, and you cannot do that with just building then 100 houses. You need to look at it larger scale. So our total plan is almost 4,000 units. So we have enough land for that. Because, and why do you need that scale? It's the same like with a hotel. Yeah, if you build a hotel with 10 rooms, you cannot have a one-star restaurant in it. Yeah, if you have a hotel with 150 rooms, you can have a swimming pool, you can have and this is the same thing. So we wanted to create facilities, but you need to have scale. Now, of course, you build it in phases. So we first now finished the first phase, which is a lot of all these facilities already, with 100 houses, which are almost all sold now. And now we are ready to start the second phase and then on the future phase. So we have a building permit for 420 units already, and we will develop that in batches of 40 to 60 houses. Yeah, so this is how we now continue. So we launched the second phase, which is now on sale, on plan. And this summer, we will start with the construction of the second phase. So, and that it's a rolling system. Yeah.
So I understand that you are basically bringing the north or the facilities we find in the north of Bucharest to the east.
Yes.
And you are targeting, let's say, the normal people in terms of revenues.
Yeah, we call it middle class. So like all the people working in our company, yeah. So they're engineers, lawyers, marketing, sales, accountants. Yeah. So, but people white collar most of the time, let's say, yeah, who have a professional job. So these are the people who can afford our houses indeed. Yeah.
Because I had a conversation with friends, and most of them, white collar people, corporate people, let's say, are saying that prices went up very much, especially in the last 2 years, and it's almost impossible for a person with who's not rich, with from the middle segment of the population, to afford a house right now. Can you disclose the prices you have in this project, and also tell us if you consider that the prices are too high for this market, and what will happen in the next period of time?
Mm-hmm. I think there is a bit this sentiment. I hear that also where I come from, and in Belgium, yeah, that people say we cannot afford anymore. However, I will go back to when I bought a house, yeah, also now 35 years ago, and basically I heard then the same sentiment. Yeah, young, we cannot buy a house anymore. I think it's a bit of perhaps all ages or all times. So I'm not 100% convinced that it is particularly now this market. I see the interest rate when I bought my house, the interest rates were 8 to 10%. Yeah. Today here, the average interest rate last year was 5.8%. Yeah. So already there, it's much cheaper. And we come from cheaper because, of course, a few years ago, something happened which I thought in my life would never happen, but there were negative interest rates in the commercial business. So resulting in very low mortgage interest rates. And people get then used to this low number of 2, 3, 4%. Yeah, but my brother, who is a little bit older, I'm sorry I go so personal now, but he bought his house in a high inflation period in Belgium, and the interest rate was 18%. Just to give you an idea. So we need to put things sometimes in perspective. I think that that in general, the Bucharest market is not an expensive market. Of course, you need to compare the purchase power. Each country has different purchase power as well. But in general, we also develop residential, and we started, I told you, we did a lot of commercial, and this is still very important for us. But we look at opportunities, and also in Warsaw, we discovered an opportunity for residential, the same as for here. And when I compare these two markets in the same segment, yeah, prices in Warsaw are the double of what they are here. While the salaries, believe me, I compare the staff here and staff in Poland, the salaries are not the double, far from it. Yeah. And even the Polish zloty now is a bit more expensive, and the interest rates are a bit higher than here. So this is internationally comparing, yeah, your financial medium. So internationally comparing, this is not an expensive market, first of all, yeah. So when we look then at our product, in particular, Liziera de Lac, we sell houses as of 146,000 euro. Yeah, you get therefore an independent house, yeah, with 2 bedrooms, with a bathroom, fully fitted out, yeah, with a garden, with parking lots, with streets, very nice streets, sidewalks, and bike paths in front of you, with all these facilities. When we look at that, so what I hear from the people, we just sold again this week. Yeah, I got the news we sold again 2 houses. Yeah, these houses were sold between 170,000 and 190,000 euro. But larger houses, yeah. So 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, yeah, bigger garden. But you see, we see that people are able to buy that. Usually, the most of our clients do it with a mortgage, yeah, and then they go on 25 years, yeah. Most often we see that, and then that's it, when you of course, it's always easier when you're a couple, yeah, than when you're alone. But as a couple, with a 25-year mortgage, yeah, at today's rates, people can afford these prices we notice, yeah, and we know because we studied the competition, yeah, that we are competitive with these prices, yeah, certainly per square meter, yeah. Our square meter prices are almost not higher than 1,700 euro per square meter. And if you compare that to the north, you will not find anything in the north below 2,000 if houses I'm talking about, eh? But even apartments, it will be difficult to find something below 2,000.
Great, good news for everyone who's looking for a house.
Yes, we are good news to the market.
But I prepared a question regarding what you have said, actually, that we cannot compare the prices in Romania with the prices in Belgium or any other market. Is that the direction we are approaching to in the real estate market, not only in the residential market? Are we heading more and more to the West with prices?
Eastern Europe is more and more becoming Western Europe. Eh? That's clear. Yes, because look at your growth rates. Yeah, you have the highest growth rates. Belgium has a growth rate of 1%. You grow 3, 4, 5%. Poland as well. Yeah, so you're climbing up. Particularly Poland and Romania, the 2 main markets, the 2 markets we are in. Yes, you're becoming, yeah, in that sense, Western Europe. Yeah, so that means, but then with growth means also more wealth. More wealth means that people get higher salaries. Higher salaries means higher costs for building. Automatically, everything goes up, but the salaries go up as well. It's all linked to each other. Yeah, and at a certain day, this will match. With Poland, is already quite close to match. Yeah, and Romania is following. Yeah.
What future investments have you planned? Are you focusing on this residential project in Bucharest, or do you target any other markets in Romania, any other projects?
Other projects, yes. Other markets, no. We focus on Bucharest. So we know now a Bucharest area. I'm not talking about the city, is the area, of course. Because as you know, in the city itself, it's a bit challenging to get the permit. So lucky enough, we are in surrounding villages. But we focus on Bucharest. Yes, this is clearly an area with a lot of potential. We have a good team here. We know companies here. So this is where, and as I told you, we always invest in longer term projects. We are not what we call a hit and run developer. Somebody who quickly makes something and then sells it and leaves it behind and it's gone. Yeah, whatever happens to it. We are very attached to what we do, and we want to be proud of what we deliver. And we want all our users to be proud of it. So Liziera de Lac, this is something for the next 10 years to keep on focusing on. This is a long term, close by, also next to our outlet center. We have other plans as well. Because we built a whole access and exit road on the A2 road, so this whole system. So there we have a lot of land still that we further will develop commercially. And then there's still some other ideas, by the way, we still have some land in portfolio, but all around this area.
Okay, and which are the segments of the real estate market that you think will grow the most in the future period of time? I guess
So
it's not office.
Yeah, residential. Offices, I think there will be, and we see it already again in Warsaw, but I see it also in Belgium, by the way. So I think there will be a return to offices, more and more. We feel that ourselves as well. Our policy is now to be in the office at least 4 days a week, because otherwise you cannot create teams anymore. And you need teams of people, not just individuals. You don't want a group of individuals, you want a team. And that's why I keep on traveling as well. And do not do only meetings, which today with the technology you could do, through Teams or Zoom. But I wonder why they call Teams, by the way. No, you need physical contact. It stays very important as for human beings. So I do think there is a future for offices. I do think, but in a different way than it used to be. And I think in our project in Connoisseur, we already are a very good example. It's first of all, part of a multifunctional project. So you go out, you come out of the office, and you're immediately surrounded by restaurants and coffee bars and bars for the evening as well. And you have all the convenience stores and services around you, so that you can do all your shopping before you go home. So when you are in your office, you also have a lot of opportunities to meet people. So there are coffee corners, there's areas where you can brainstorm, there are areas where you can focus on something. So the office space, look at the office furniture, it's almost more and more, you have functional furniture, but also more and more also furniture that makes you feel almost at home. So it's changed a lot. And so that's about offices. Here, residential for sure, both in Poland and Romania, remain very important. And I do see, again, also in retail, we see an uplift. I think that the online retail has found a certain balance. But again, and I see the appetite also in the capital markets, again, an appetite for physical retail, offline retail. And we have a unique position in that with our outlet centers. We deliver brand and value. And that's something, again, because of the growth of the Romanian market, growth of salaries, growth of brand awareness. We see now more and more premium brands entering the market, and automatically then also coming into our outlet center. Hugo Boss is a perfect example of that. In West Park, we have now 3 years ago, we opened the first Hugo Boss store. It's an enormous success. And they are not cheap, right? They are not cheap, even in an outlet center. Where you get a discount, you don't find a t-shirt of €10. It's a t-shirt of €50. So yeah, so our outlet business clearly has also, and the retail, bit broader even, has still a lot of potential as well, I think. Yeah.
Have you thought that when you have first started the outlet business in Romania, that Romanian or even Eastern Europeans love very much the brands? Have you considered the fact that we had a lack of brands during the communist times?
Yes, yes, indeed. Yeah, yeah. So clearly, there was this aspiration. Yeah, yeah, we've seen that. You see that when you go into the city, you see how people are dressed, and yeah, yeah. There is this, yeah, this a bit of Italian flavor here. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. But is this still the case? I mean, isn't this trend fading? Aren't we more aware that we are able to buy brands? We don't have to hunt them all the time. Are we becoming more Western Europeans from this perspective also?
No, the brands, well, look, even when it goes weak, always luxury brands are doing well. Yeah. So it's, but luxury brand is of course only one part of the segment. Eh? We also need to look at broader and look at a Tommy Hilfiger, look at Nike or other sports brand, and you know this comfortable apparel has become more and more important, and people still, yeah, prefer to have a pair of Adidas shoes or Puma shoes than something unknown. So you quality is appreciated, yeah, and with a brand, with a brand label, yeah, this is appreciated. Yeah, but it doesn't need to be high class all the time. I gave you Boss now as an example how it is evolving. Yeah, but if you look at the majority of the offer in our parks is not luxury brands. It's middle class brands again. Yeah, affordable brand, but they are brands. Yeah, yeah. And brands are important. Like brands are create a world, right? And there's a perception, right? With yeah, that's created. The brand is like as an identity, eh? And that people look for that. Yes, and I'm quite convinced this is deep in us, very deep in us. Yeah.
But is this segment affected by the, I wouldn't say crisis, because most of the business people I have spoken to told us that we are not in a crisis, but there are some challenging times in terms of inflation. Is this segment affected?
Well, outlet business there, we are lucky. Yeah, yeah. It's counter-cyclical, we call it. Yeah,
Okay.
counter-cyclical. So people want to continue buying even when it's more difficult. Yeah, and therefore shopping centers are the first one to suffer. But we deliver, yeah, brand and value. So if you buy a pair of Adidas shoes with us, yeah, you get them at least 30% cheaper. So people are then have rather will go to an outlet then at that moment when it gets a bit more difficult. So we usually do a bit better when it really gets all generally economically worse. Yeah.
So you are doing better now?
Well, I'm not saying that we are living in very bad times. We live in uncertain times now, yeah? But there's certainly not a recession if you look at your growth numbers, yeah? And the interest rates are going down still, yeah? Inflation has gone down substantially. I could know it in the building business, believe me. A few years ago, it was tougher. Because then prices were going up drastically. In Poland, we have stopped building our office projects because they were not profitable anymore. Today, there is this price stabilization. So in the building sector, so we don't see there's some prices, wood, etc., for example, have gone lower. Energy not so much, but other materials, yes, steel, wood, aluminium are cheaper today. So for us, these are not bad times. For us, it's now interesting to build. Yeah, there's just general atmosphere of bit uncertainty created by a certain president in a certain country in this world. But that's also something that we'll see how people are very, I would say, in business are very, I would say, resistant. That's the advantage of getting a bit older, that I've been in business now for more than 30 years, and I can make comparisons. And I think I grew up in a world which was much more dangerous than it is today, because I grew up in a Cold War situation, yeah, where I could not come here. I was forbidden to come to Romania, even. Yeah, imagine that.
Let's hope those days are very far behind.
Oh, very far behind. Lucky enough. Yeah, before your time. Yeah.
Well, in order to close the interview, maybe you want to tell us which is the biggest, I don't know, hidden quality a country like Romania, or even the countries around us have for a real estate developer, and maybe which is your message for your possible clients.
Hidden quality, well, yeah, perhaps you need to discover it. But I would say, yeah, for as an investor, from an investor point of view, countries like Poland and Romania, this is potential. It's you have here, the fastest growing countries. There are so many possibilities. There is a bit of increasing bureaucracy, indeed, and certainly in the city of Bucharest, I isolate it a bit. It's a bit of a special case, but in general, yeah, there is a bit of increasing bureaucracy, but it's still much, much, much lower than it is in where I come from, for example. So the opportunities from an investor point of view are still immense, yeah, and that's why it's a pleasure to come here, because you really can still make things happen. Yeah, that's what you can be part of a growing nation. And this is what for me is and that's what I would say to all Romanians and Polish: don't leave your country, stay here and make it happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
be part of it. Yeah, like my ancestors have done after the war. Yeah, they built up the country. Yeah, that I'm now taking the fruits of. Yeah, because they built it up, and that's what here we have to do. Yeah, and I'm a foreign investor here. The Romanian people have to grasp these opportunities of these foreign investors coming here, yeah, who are willing to take that risk, because it is risky. I stick to it. But of course, we also see opportunities of making a nicer return than where I come from. But the Romanians have to grasp that and enhance it, endorse it, yeah. And that I see is happening in the villages where we develop. I see that we have really a good collaboration with all these mayors, yeah, and councils, and because they see the potential, and that's what I would say. And yeah, and then when you are 30 years further down the road, like me, like I am, that will give you such a satisfaction when you see the younger people again, yeah, growing up in a society which is so much better, yeah. So yeah, and we, on top of that, yeah, from our personal point of view as an investor, yeah, we can deliver you an extremely nice house in an extremely nice neighborhood with high quality air. Yeah.
Well, we are looking forward to hear details about your future projects. Thank you very much for the interview,
And
and
come and visit us. Come and visit us. Yeah.
I will during the summer, because I
Our
get.
houses are not as big as that building behind you, but but they are very nice.
Thank you very much. We will
Thank
come.
you so much for having me.
Vă mulțumim și vouă că ați fost alături de noi și de această dată. Ne vedem în curând la o nouă ediție a emisiunii ZF Real Estate by Storia.